But it's good being here again this week. These live shows have been very fun lately, and we got good special guest with us tonight for sure. So,
Jakes, how you been, man?
I've been good. Getting it show season. I like that. I got the newest version. Get out. Yeah. It's show season, so we're cramming for ATA, getting that stuff ready, and trying to sprinkle in Christmas at the same time. So,
hey, what's up, Mike? How are you? We got Jake on from Cobra Archery. I figured we have him on tonight, and this is like last minute too, by the way, guys. I was texting him like, "Hey, you want to go live at 8?"
Yeah,
He's like, "Oh man, nothing planned."
I got the spare bedroom at the house, so yeah.
I love it. I love your background, man. That's I like to see that. So.
Heck yeah. So
aloha, Ted. That's awesome.
Jake, tell us about Cobra. I know you acquired the company and you've been moving it. And to be honest, we've been extremely happy with what we've seen from the brand, especially on the releases. I mean, you guys, the designs you're using and what you're doing, what you came up with, and if you guys haven't shot these yet, honestly, you're missing out because these designs are awesome. I really like them. So I guess tell us what's going on and kind of that little brief history.
Well, we bought Cobra in 2017, July 2017, and Cobra was a monster for years. The former owner had it. He blew it up, and then some investors got it, and weren't really part of the outdoor industry, and they weren't outdoorsmen, I guess you would say. And they kind of just trailed down for the next 15 years, and it was at its low point. It was they were getting ready to either close the doors or step out or step away, whatever. And we got introduced to them and found out what they were doing, and we got together and bought the company, and ever since then, we've been introducing and designing new products since then. I had personally been making and building my own stuff for years. Okay. And ironically, when I was in the process of meeting these folks, I had already unknowingly, filed a few patents on release designs. So it kind of worked out, let's just say. And ever since then, we have been designing more and more releases and more designs. I think we hit a nice note with the pinch to close bodiless release style, and then we received a patent on our hook design, on our roller shear hook design. We got a patent on that. So, and we got a handful of other patents for our thumb releases and whatnot. So, but each year we continue to build better releases, and now the old designs of the old Cobra are completely gone. There's nothing there that's theirs. Everything is our design, and we have more stuff coming out every year. I got a stack that deep of stuff that I didn't even touch yet. So, but we're filing more and more patents all the time. It's you're dealing with your patent attorney quite a bit when he calls you and say, "Hey Jake, it's really nice out today. Are we going fishing?" so I'm at a pretty good relationship. So,
funny, man.
Yeah, we keep getting better and keep producing, and we got good things coming.
I know you love the design side, kind of the engineering side of things, and you do a lot of that yourself. Yeah. What does it feel like, though, to have something that goes from your head to something that you can tangibly touch, and then finally when you launch it to your consumers, they just love it? I mean, that's got to be the best feeling in the world, huh?
It's nice. It's personal satisfaction. I wouldn't say pride, just because that'll get you in trouble. That'll build an ego and get you in trouble. I would say it's a personal satisfaction to see that take place. It's great to see, someone buy your product that it was between your ears, and then they actually went out and harvested an animal with it. It's really cool. When I shot that buck this fall, I used my Maverick, I used my Radius, and I used the Barbarian, release, sight, and Broadhead. So it's a good point, and it is it is fun to have that happen. It really is. It's nice. It's kind of hard to describe because you think about it, and that stuff's been rolling around in my head for so many years, and then finally, 3-4 years later, it actually happens when you get an opportunity and you buy the company and you roll out your own gear, and people go, "Wow, this is a good design. This is really good." Because you don't know. You
Right,
hope you do.
Right.
You hope you do, but you don't really truly know until it gets out there. But you do the best you can and you see where it goes.
So I'll answer this question real quick and I'll throw it over to you, Jake. But Mike wanted to know what's your preference in release type. For me, it's always been the wrist type. I like the buckle around my wrist. I like to be able to just grab on. I have tried handles before. I've just the one time I did try it years ago, I dropped it, and then ever since then, it kind of kind of went the opposite direction. But now with like Jake's design and like the way he's got it folds back like that, I mean, it's like literally out of my way anyway. So it's like I might as well just stick with that.
Yeah.
How about you, Jake?
My favorite is a wrist strap. Okay, it's just because of the simplicity and the ease of it. Okay, the handheld, yeah, you can get a little more tacky and a little more sharp to it, just because of your anchor points and whatnot and how you shoot it. I got that. But for hunting purposes, I shoot the Maverick. It's tiny, it's small, it's really I like it. I like it because it's such a minimalist. There's nothing to it basically at all. The handhelds are good, but the reason I don't shoot them for bow hunting is because I will have a neck gaiter on. I'll have a big, maybe a big heavy coat, and it's gonna affect my anchor point a little bit. Trying to jam it in there, trying to get that thing right again. But with my release, my wrist strap release is different. And also every once in a while when I have a handheld, and I don't do it anymore, but every once in a while when I didn't use the lanyard for the strap that goes to the handheld, because the Harvester now comes with a wrist strap lanyard so you can hook it to it, right? Every once in a while I get right over how it rolls over and you relax. You ever not shoot and it wants to jump forward because you relax too much? You ever do that with a bow? Yeah. It jumps. Well, a couple times, boom, I let go of the release. Just completely I relax so much, boom, and the release is gone. I trashed my bow. And the one time I almost lost my eye.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, that's it. That was the third time. Strap from now on. I am never shooting without that again because I don't want to lose my eye. And then ever since I switched to that took away the fear. And then you trade weight, you put 50% on your wrist and 50% on the hand, and then you can really shoot. And then you put two fingers and you can really, really, really shoot well. But that, for me, that's not my ideal hunting situation. Everything I do is in preparation to shoot an animal.
So for those that might be thinking about changing from a wrist strap to a handheld or vice versa, are there changes you have to make to the bow as well?
Anchor points. You're going to have an anchor point. It's going to be a little different because how you roll your shoulder back and how you anchor in is going to be a little bit different, because you may twist your hand a little bit. You might feel a little pressure from the D loop twist. A couple of variations. Your hand itself is going to be in a different position than with a wrist strap. It's going to be a different position. There's going to be a length adjustment. Maybe you have to shorten your length, lengthen your draw length, or some guys will just cheat and make their D loop a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, just to try and get it there without having to adjust arrow length and all that crap. Because then you got to get arrow because if you go longer and then you get your arrows too short. So I'm like, oh crap! I just bought $200 arrows and now they're worthless to me.
Yeah.
So
I was just showing this. James, I agree with you there. It's I'm the same way, but I was just sorry, I was showing this video because I don't know if is this going to mute Tim or can you guys hear this?
Can hear it.
I'd say.
See, I don't know why you can hear it. It's so weird. I don't want you to hear it. I just want to show something from it. But I just thought this is funny because so last time Jake was on, it just so happens that I had this like old Cobra product.
Oh yeah.
Right. What do you mean?
Right.
This?
Yeah, the sticker.
It was so funny, and I was just trying to find what it looked like.
Yeah, it was a boat anchor, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh
I think it was.
It was that black. Remember that? Like it was very specific. Actually, it was funny because
like
I actually traded
I
his
think we
website
talked.
out.
I think what I remember we talked about it looked like the old like
here it
Karate Kid Cobra Kai.
Dude, that thing was old.
Uh-oh.
That was good.
But
Well, Dave's trying to find that. There's a question that we had a little bit earlier, and I know the answer, but I just wanted to toss it to you. Is that do you make a fixed blade broadhead?
do I shoot one? Or
No, do you make a fixed blade broadhead?
Yeah, we do. Yep, 3-blade. Yep.
So I know WC, you were asking about testing stuff, but actually, Cobra does do the tester scene with you guys on our TikTok. So if you're over there, you could see it. We have one going right now for the Broadhead. So just a heads up, you can head over there to check that out. But if you want to learn about it, I did post a link to their website here. So just to answer your question, sorry. Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Did you guys ever get mechanical heads from us?
Yes. Yep. I got some mechanicals. They're awesome.
Okay.
I love how they work too. They like lock out. It's like so nice, and you would never be able to tell how it works. I don't even know how it works, to be honest, because the way it locks out it's all like internal. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm sure that's yet another patent, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If you were wondering out there.
Yeah. And we just found another one in October on another design, which is it's pretty sweet.
Is that a 2022 teaser? Is that what you're giving us?
No, that's a 23.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys read this one? Mike put up. Oh my
Try
gosh,
to
that's so funny.
punch myself in the face and broke my glasses. Yeah. I could see that happening for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's like so realistic. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if we had Uncle Bob shooting a hand release down in the studio, Kevin's studio?
Oh.
We have this one staffer that he has now shot the wall twice in our studio. So.
It's the funniest thing too. He's like, I didn't shoot shit. That's what he says.
Was it a thumb release or was it a hinge?
No, well, actually, it was a crossbow. Believe it or not.
What?
Twice. One was a pistol crossbow that we got from Bear. We were playing around. I said, $20, Bob. I can beat you at the shootout. So my first shot is literally a heart shot on this turkey decoy. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even believe I hit it in the heart. I was like, wow. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And as I turn around, he shoots the wall. And he's like, where'd I hit it? Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. We were all screaming and stuff because he did it before. And it's every time. So Kevin, we do this, like our studio's at Kevin's house. And every time Kevin's on vacation in Florida, it happens. It's the funniest thing. Like every time he breaks something. One time it was a glass.
Busting the joint up while he's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's absolutely awesome. So
you're, if we missed anything, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're getting ready for ATA, right? Yep. So how has that been going?
You know, oddly enough, we're ahead of schedule.
You are?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we're on schedule.
I like how you said oddly enough.
Yeah. Usually that week after Christmas is like get just insane. But we are going to another show just before ATA. Okay. It is in Nashville, and it is it's for our fishing brand. So we'll be at Nashville show for our fishing brand down there, and then we'll drive up to ATA. Yep.
Yeah, so I was going to make it easier because you're just moving from one to the other, but it sounds like it's completely different setups, completely different branding.
Oh yeah, it is. It is completely different. Yeah, it's yard decoy stuff. We just catalog sitting right here.
Yeah, I got to get a few of those from you. Actually, I always forget. My son loves fishing. I'm not a huge fisherman, but Tim and these guys, they love fishing.
Yeah, I love fishing, man.
I'll go, but this looks fun. This thing you got here.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. We got 80 SKUs coming out this year. We're just getting ready to flip over the new website at the end of the year. So
did you see that one that it's not, I don't know who makes it or anything, but I thought it was like seen on TV or something, but you put it in the water and it like just starts to move by itself. And I don't know if there's a power.
Isn't that middle-looking thing from back in the day?
It's like a battery in there or something or other.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. I don't know if it's the design that it's like that the waves like move it. I don't know.
It's like those old clocks you used to make in like middle school or elementary school, where you take the potato and stick the two probes in there.
Yeah,
it's got a little potato in there, and then the water
casting that potato around.
Jake, will you be at the Harrisburg show or no?
You know what? We just dropped out of that.
Just dropped out.
Yeah, and
Too many shows.
Yeah, because we got to leave the very next weekend for another one, and then as soon as we get back, we're at another one. And that show down at Harrisburg. Harrisburg's only 35 minutes away, but it's 10 days. It's 10 days.
Wow.
We'll end up going down there, and just maybe peruse the halls just for a couple hours and then leave. But yeah, it was a good show, but it's going to be too much this season. It's just going to be too much. So we're going to get out of it.
It'll be interesting what happens with all the shows like that. Obviously with the ATA losing, 85% of the people going, the companies. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how what that trickle down effect is to these other shows. Even Tim and I, we usually go to one show, a local show in Michigan called the Woods and Water Outdoor Week, and we love it. That we know the owners. It's a lot of fun. We do this podcast live right there. It's one of the coolest things we've ever done, really, and it's really cool. But we had to miss it this year. It was on youth weekend and bear hunting. Like it was like literally the two worst week. It couldn't have been any worse. I'm like,
why do you pick that weekend?
They have to book it. They do it at a county fair, so they have to book it with the county fair, like probably a couple years in advance to make sure, because it's such a solid show, such a good gathering of people, and what changes is that youth hunt. So the youth hunt isn't always that weekend every year. It just got pushed earlier than what it normally is for the month of September. So it was just like the wrong weekend for us trying to get our families out and all that kind of stuff. But Dave's not wrong about that being a fun show. I remember the first time that we did the podcast there. We're right there they set us up in a booth right at the front gates, right?
Right when you walk in.
And we had all of these great ideas. We're doing live podcasts with the vendors, and they're coming over. But in between, we'd be giving away stuff, T-shirts and lanyards and all that. Have a little spinning freewheel. And I think at one point we had a crowd of like almost 100 people gathering around for stuff, man. It was absolutely insane.
It's insane. Like I was like, what is happening right now? People are screaming and stuff.
How many shows do you guys go to?
It's just usually that and ATA normally.
Okay.
But since ATA, what happened for us is with ATA is that they invited us to come be at the summit, the media summit, and speak at it and stuff. But the problem was for us, if we run the numbers, it's like X amount of. So like normally we go see every bow manufacturer. Now there would only be like 2 or 3 there. So we're really 75% of the people we would go see are going to be gone. And that's the issue. So we're like, this isn't really going to work out. And we spend probably $2,000 to $3,000 to go to that show. It's not the cheapest thing for us. We got to pay for food, hotels, travel. I mean, it's a lot for us. And we're just a media company. We're not selling nothing. We don't make anything back out of it. So it was really hard to say no that we're not going. But at the same time, we thought it was the right decision for us. But we wish them well. We hope it works out and sticks around, but we'll see. But this outdoor weekend show is completely different. It's consumer only. Consumers are just 20,000 consumers come through, and a lot of Michigan. Obviously, it's in Michigan, so we get a lot of our fans because a lot of people know we're from Michigan. So it's really fun to talk to people and talk. Like I had one where this little kid wanted a picture with me. It was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me. And I'm like, they came up and the kid was acting a little weird. Then he walked away with his dad. Then the dad came back and says, "Hey, do you think you get a picture with me? Really a big fan of yours." I'm like, "What?" Like,
that's pretty cool.
What does that mean? Like, what?
That's pretty cool.
Sure.
That's
like,
of
course, but we don't look at it that way ever. So it's why it was so odd. I'm like, really? Like,
we did add to our repertoire though this year, and I think we're going to go back again. The Total Archery Challenge, that was really fun.
Yeah, where was that at?
It's up in Michigan. It's at a ski resort called Boyne Mountain. So they amazing resort up there, top class city, top class resort. And it's a great time to just get together with other people in the industry and chit chat. We did a live show, or we did a live podcast from there with Bear Archery, which was really fun. So
yeah, they have one in Pennsylvania here. They bring it here to PA.
It goes all over that thing.
Yeah. Seven Springs, the big giant ski resort kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I never went to it though. Never been out to it. I know a couple buddies of mine went out to it and they enjoyed it. I never had time to get out and do it. But did you guys ever go to the Harrisburg show? Just as a consumer?
I wish I could. I mean, honestly, if we did this for a living, which we don't, but if we did, I would love to like travel to all the different shows throughout the summer and everything and do this live podcast to everyone. I think it'd be so fun, especially even just following around I would love to just follow around the Total Archery Challenge and be a part of that and go live each time we're there. Because I think it'd be fun to go live with the shooters when people shoot and come off the course and sit down and talk to you, right? Hey, how did your shoot go? What did you think? And that would be a lot of fun, I think. And that would, when you talk about crowds, what I love about that crowd is that is true archers at that event. When we went there, I was like, this is our crowd. I mean, all these people are big time hunters, you could tell, and even just shooters, but they're into it. And, and normally at like the Woods and Water show, it's just everybody and anybody. It's not just archery. It's like, muzzle,
guns and ammo,
knives, and people don't even care about archery, right? But these people at Total Archery Challenge are all archers. It's absolutely incredible. All right, so we got a comment here from Chris. So some feedback. I just bought one of the Maverick releases, and I really like it so far. I ended up taking the spring off the cord and pulling a clear rubber tube on it. It was a little more comfortable. I don't know.
Yep. That you know what, Chris, that for 2022,
I see it now. The spring, got it. I see what you're saying.
we took the spring off for 2022, and we have a black hose on there instead this year.
Oh, so there you go, Chris. You had forced forethought of what Jake was thinking.
And Chris, I shoot the exact same piece of equipment. That's what I shoot. That exact piece of equipment. Now I get the spring on mine, but that's what I shoot. That's what I like.
Awesome.
So, how'd you guys make out?
Oh man, you see that, Tim?
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know that.
That's sad. I'll do the R100 if that happens.
Yeah, the R100. I think we've been to that years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But
what's the
I
R100?
just don't know. The R100 is like a Saginaw Reinhardt 100 shoot, and it's fine. It's just that the reason I like the Total Archery Challenge is a chance for us to talk to our friends in the industry who come in from other states, like Knock On TV was there, and Sitka, and Kuyu, and so it's nice just to go talk to them guys in person. It's like going to the ATA and seeing them, right? And so like that was nice. This R100 doesn't really have that. They might have a couple local companies like Dart or G5, which is fine, but it's not like that other one where so many.
Well, how long has that Total Archery Challenge been around?
True.
It's been a while.
Long time.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That just happened? That they're not coming to Boyne, or were they never not coming back to Boyne?
I don't know. That's breaking the news to me, if nothing else. So we'll have to definitely confirm that. But I believe you, Michael. That's a bummer because we really liked that show this year. But speaking of shows, I wanted to thank you for your involvement in our special event that's coming up in a couple of weeks here, the Christmas special. So I know that we got Cobra prizes going out, and you guys are going to be a part of that, and that's going to be really exciting. Dave and I love that show, as much work as it is and as stressful as it is to put together for everybody. We have such a good time on that live podcast that we do, and so many gifts to give away, and just a thank you to all of our all of our people that watch us each and every week and watch our videos, that it's a fun time. So I wanted to say thank you for allowing us to give away some of your product on that show too. That's awesome.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. No worries. Oh, good. So
I'm excited for the Christmas special.
How'd the hunting season go, boys?
Terrible. I would ask to come to Pennsylvania, but I know it's not much better over there.
You know what? I gotta tell you, man, they shot a pile of big ones in PA this year. I mean, they shot a.
Did they really? They did here too. I have no idea how, but I can see nothing. Thanks, Mike. See you, man.
Yeah, so I got meat in the freezer, which is good. I did fill the freezer. It just wasn't, for as much as I did hunt, and maybe that was my problem. It just wasn't as successful as you would have expected it to be. So it is what it is, though. It's hard hunting. We had a lot of changes this year in our property and trying to rework some things and what we're doing and how we're doing it. So it's kind of a learning experience, if nothing else. So I'll look on the positive side of that and looking forward to next year. So,
all right.
How about you?
I had a good season. We had a really good season. We had a couple of events that were just stupid crazy. I mean, it was just we had an event out there in Missouri. We went out to Missouri bow hunting. All four of us got shooting. 3 of us brought back a deer. And we had some crazy ass stuff happen that will never ever happen again. I mean,
you found a deer smoking a cigarette?
No, I tell you what, I've been blessed to shoot a lot of whitetail, and I've been involved in a lot of whitetail that got shot. Okay, and one of my most favorite things to do is a post-mortem. I love pulling the internals out and seeing where you hit them.
Yeah,
you hit them, where the path of the arrow or what a bullet or whatever it would be, and see what it hit. You know, you do that for 40 years, and you skin and butcher your own deer. You get a pretty good sense of the anatomy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, one of the fellas that we were hunting with this year, well, he hunts every year, John Culp, great archer, shoots really well, shoots awesome under pressure. He really, really does. He knows his stuff, does a great job in the woods, very detailed. He shot a buck, okay, and he swore up and down he hit it right where he should have, okay? He's like, Jake, I'm like, is it moving, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He didn't get a pass through the arrow, backed out. Well, they went back a couple hours later, and him and my other buddy, Brock Heppel, they were looking for it. Well, lo and behold, the thing stands up in front of Brock at like 10 yards.
Oh, jeez.
Bounds away.
How long did you let it sit?
Like a couple hours. But he hit it right in the numbers. Right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, a couple hours right on the nose.
And it
jumps up. Expect that.
It jumps up right in front of Brock, and Brock says, Jake, I know. I saw the entrance hole. I saw the blood. I know exactly where he hit it. At the angle he was shooting, it was perfect. I'm like, all right, I trust you. Let's go. Let's go in the morning. So it was dark, and that was the night I killed mine. So I said, let's go in the morning. We get out there, I don't know, 8:30 o'clock, whatever it was. We got out there, plenty of daylight. We're looking around. We go to his last, saw blood. We found some blood, blah, blah. 150 yards later, it stands up right in front of me, like 12 yards away.
No.
And I'm like, what the hell? And it just runs off. And, you know, when you see that, 18 hours later, you go like, I don't think we're going to get this deer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that she's living. So,
yeah.
Wow.
And it runs off and it disappears into a thick, but it's going up this little tiny draw, and it goes out into it dumps out into a cornfield that's cut, right? So like, okay, we're going to find out what's going on. We didn't see it come out of the woods, so I went to one side of the open field, Hebel went to the other side of the field, and John Culp went up the center, right? I'm like, well, we're going to find out. I'm there going, what am I going to do? This animal runs toward me. How am I going to get it to the ground? How can I knock it off its feet to stab it or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, crazy stuff goes through your head. So I'm standing up in the field, and Culpy's yelling up to me, Jake, it's laying here, it's dead. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So I'm running like crazy, getting out to the field. It's laying here dead. I'm going to cut its throat. I'm like, wait a second. You said it was dead. And I'm running down there, and he's laying over top of this deer. It's kicking and wailing. He's sawing on it like he's trying to cut down a Christmas tree. It's flopping everywhere. He about loses his eye. About gets his eye kicked out. So this deer just would not die. It's laying there gurgling, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so
that's happened to all of us, though.
Right. I've had an experience like that, too. Yeah, for sure.
We're standing there. The deer's laying. I'm like, okay, let's flip it over. I want to see the entrance. Where'd you hit this thing? Right? He rolls it over. He did. He's absolutely hammered it exactly where he was supposed to. I've never seen this before in my life. I'm like, Colby, this is new to me. The arrow went in literally that far.
Wow.
No heavy bone, no nothing. It grazed a rib going in. Okay. Punctured into, I said, because Colby started gutting. I said, Colby, pull the entire internals out as one. I want to see this thing, and I want to inspect to see what the hell happened. I've never seen that before. That deer should have been dead, no problem. He should have went clean through it to begin with. But anyway.
Where the shot hit? Like in the ribs, the lungs, or was it a...
Yeah, it went in his right side, right in the center of his right side lung. It punctured his right side lung and backed out.
Nah.
And when we pulled everything out, his left lung was almost completely black, but his right lung was still pink, but black around the entrance where he got punctured.
Mm-hmm.
When I jumped the deer, I guess it had ran out of breath, or was in the process of dying, lost his breath, and passed out. And that's when Colby got up to him and started cutting his throat. And
Jeez.
but I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen an animal in the lungs and last 18 hours. I just never.
That's crazy.
That.
That's
and
crazy.
And backed out. He was so mad at the performance.
After the second time you jumped it, I would have figured, that's it. You're not. It's just not happening, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy.
Colby asked me, I'm like, man, dude, listen, this is new ground for me. I don't have any experience in this one. You got me here. And I've been on hundreds of recoveries, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this one, but that was the most crazy. It was just stupid. That ain't ever going to happen again. I
knock on wood.
Because when one runs off and it's 18 hours later, like, yeah, you say you hit it in the lungs, but truly you didn't. But this time, damn, he didn't. He actually did. So learning lesson for Jake on that one. That's for sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
Cobra Mountaineer, that's awesome. I love that release, by the way. Jake and I were talking about that the other day. That's a great release, Amanda. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
This, I'm going to share some with you guys because, this conversation's made me think of a situation I had, and I just want to show you guys this hit. This is crazy. And staging.
Was this last year?
Nah, this is a few years back.
That's a long time ago. Look how young you are.
Let me just show you guys the shot if I can. Okay. Does that not look clean? Just clean, guys. Look at that.
Ooh, it does. She dipped right into it.
That's what I'm saying. She ducked and ducked right into it. I'm trying to see if I
it looks like she dipped right into it.
I think we showed it again.
How far was that?
Oh, man. That was 40. So here's the issue. What happened was it ended up being further. Yeah, so it was like 46. I clocked her at 43, then she moved to 46 or something like that.
Well, it looks like you pounded her.
Yeah, I know. This is what I'm going to say. This is so interesting. So that's where I hit. And, okay, hold on. Let me pause this. If I can. Okay. All right, let me do this. Let me go to this because this is important. Thank you, Amanda. I like to know that the review we did helped acquire the Mountaineer.
Yep, thank you.
Excellent information.
Thanks, Amanda. Appreciate it.
So you saw that hit, right?
Yeah.
And what actually happened is, and this is crazy, so that deer had to be stabbed to death as well the next day. And that hit actually hit that deer, and that arrow hit that bone and wrapped inside the underneath, like the whole brisket, like up and around the vitals and out. It like zipped. It looked like it was a perfect shot. Then it hits and it goes down into, so the light must have went off or something because it went down and under the brisket, up and around and out.
Did it go in the chest? Did it go in the chest cavity or go underneath the chest cavity?
It hit the cavity and went straight down and then wrapped around somehow.
No way.
It was unbelievable. We're watching that video in the car. That was so cold that day. It was so cold. We left there. We started following the blood. It was like going into the snow and disappearing. We go back to the car, me and Ron, and we're looking at the footage. And we're like, dead deer. It's got to be 10 yards up there. That was a perfect shot. And so we're going. All of a sudden, we're seeing pushing it. You could tell we're pushing it. We're seeing the spots. We're like, what the heck? So we leave, and we're like, it's cold enough. The meat will be fine. Next day, me, Ron, and Kevin go out there. No joke. Kevin's walking. He's like, I see it, but it's alive. We're like, what? And he could see he went down this hill, and he's looking down, and it's in a bush moving. So Ron snuck up on it and took care of it, but it was crazy. Like, I could not believe that's what happened. It was like devastating mentally.
Did it go like underneath the chest cavity, but it stayed inside the hide and wrapped up in?
Correct. So when it went down like that, it actually twisted. So when it twists, it rode like this.
I got you. And the way she was moving when it got hit.
Yeah, and I used that video. I was talking to we did a special. There was a podcast. I don't remember who it was, but we were talking about deer and when deer are skittish and not skittish, and it's really important because it changes a lot of things. Reading the deer is a critical part of hunting that some people know, some people don't, but you should be able to read deer. And if a deer comes in, it's skittish. This deer was actually pretty skittish. If you watch the whole video, it kind of like is walking around, its ears are perked, it comes up and around. So it was already like on like, I'm going to move quick if something happens. Follow that up with a bow that's at 60 pounds. that was actually a broadhead that I would never use again. I forgot the name of it. It was like some one-off rocket or something. I don't even remember what it was. It's not even, I think it was made by a company called Sanford Innovations or something. It wasn't even like it was like a sample one at ATA or something. I'm like, oh, I really want to try this thing. It looks vicious, you know? So add that into the way it turned, the way it twists, the way it runs, the 60 pounds. You have a little bit slower bow. It's probably shooting 280, you know, with a hunting arrow. And all that comes to play. So that's why some people want a 70-pound bow or 80-pound bow. And, you know, so they get that extra 10 feet or whatever they're trying to accomplish. But that's what can happen. And although it looked like it was a stellar shot, it actually was too low. It needed to be higher and hit her because she twisted. And when she twisted, you know, she leveled herself. I mean, it's a genius move by the deer, but didn't help her.
Have you shot many deer at that range?
With a compound, no. I would say our general range here is 20 yards is pretty average for shooting a deer here with a compound. But crossbow, I shot one last year at 46, no problem. Yeah, Amanda, it wasn't actually a rocket broadhead. It was a Sanford Innovations, and I forgot the name of it. But I will say this to give them a little bit of credit. I can't say it's just the broadhead. I mean, if I would have hit her flat, you know, it might have been a different story, you know. So there was some twisting in there, right? But I would have felt more confident, you know, with Jake's broadheads in that one. And what happened there? Honestly, I don't think it was sharp enough. I don't know. There could have been a lot of issues there.
Yeah, well, I mean, 46 yards is quite a bomb. You know, if a deer,
that's a good shot.
You know, that's hell, I can't even see 46 yards.
It was. You could see in the video, it's getting dark. I mean, it's like now or never type deal, you know, in that video. Yeah. And to be honest, when you're filming a video and you got, you know, a camera guy and you're sitting there, it's like, I gotta get the shot off. And this thing started grazing. I'm like, now's the time, you know.
Yeah, right.
But chances like this, Jake, like in Michigan, don't really happen as much anymore. And this was a good example of when you could bait here, and now you can't anymore. And so it's very hard to accomplish a sit like this, where even if you're just doe hunting for meat, you know, it's hard to accomplish a nice video, clean video like this anymore, which is hence one of the reasons we don't really film anymore, because all of our shots now are like deer passing through. It's so hard, you know, and even with group plots, they skip them. It's crazy.
Well, you get to see the deer 15 seconds. How do you get on them?
Right.
You know, get the camera gear set up and get a shot. You got to spot that thing from 150 yards off even. And by the time you get everything set up, they're already on top of you, and you're hoping you're going to get the shot.
In the you got it. Yep.
If you're solo like we've been doing, forget it. You know, we've been fortunate. We had a Tacticam on the show a couple weeks ago, and Ben was nice to hook us up with some Tacticams, which I'm pumped about, because now I get to have this camera idea right on the bow. The only thing is, you have to remember when using these things is you have to practice with what that is. So a lot of people, you know, you shoot your bow, a lot of people naturally drop the bow after they fire. With this Tacticam, you want to fire and hold. Because if you can hold, you're going to capture everything you want, you know, if you're just trying to get like that type of footage. But, you know, like Greg, we talked to earlier today from the juries, they don't get that kind of footage. You know, they got like these huge cameras.
Well, yeah, they get the big monster. They got 6 people on the ground blind with them.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's impressive, honestly, the stuff they're shooting in Iowa. It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. I got a friend. I hunted his place in Iowa, and it's in Van Buren County, and it's managed. It's in the top 5% of the country. It's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Have you ever hunted Kansas?
No, I have not. Nope.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm looking at for the next couple of years, trying to figure out if I can get into Kansas. I got a friend who owns some land there, so we'll see.
And that's over the counter, isn't it? Kansas?
It's what?
Over the counter. It's not.
No, I guess you have to put in for it. Yeah, he said I need to put in for it like this year in April. Every April until I get one, then I can go down. I guess that's what's hard about it, because now it makes it harder to bring people, right? Like if I say, hey, you know, Tim and I want to come, is that okay? Well, what if Tim gets a tag and I don't, or vice versa?
Well, can you guys can you group apply? Like Iowa, you could group.
Well, that's a good question.
Oh, that is a good question, actually.
Yeah, because that's what I like to do. That's a great idea.
My buddy and I go to Iowa, and we apply. But we apply as a group, so we all get it. We no get. None of us get.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
because that's what I was going to do, is just ask him if I can bring a couple people, because I hate to go alone, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, and he doesn't archery hunt, the guy, you know, he only gun hunts, so I'm not going to go sit there by myself.
Yeah, you know, the first year I started going out to Iowa bow hunting, the fellow that invited me out there, which I'm out there every year since, I I went out there for 2 weeks, totally by myself for straight 2 weeks.
Wow.
Unassisted. I remember I hung 11 tree stands.
Wow.
By myself.
Man.
That's a lot.
11. Yep. 11. Yep. Oh man, I
wow.
was beat till that was over. I lived on tuna fish and iced tea.
Wow.
That'll
I
do.
didn't get bread. I just ate right out of it. Just put it in a bowl and ate it.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Dang. Amanda's seen a lot of deer in Pennsylvania there, your home state.
Oh, there we go.
$8 in Pennsylvania this year, and the best one was like 90. Hey, I agree. But this is the same in Michigan. Okay, I shouldn't
At
say
least
that
let me just say this. At least you're seeing them.
Yeah.
Right. You manage. If you can manage that properly, they'll be bigger than 90. If your neighbors,
I was just gonna say, if you haven't already shot one, for meat at least, just to give you a chance to let that bow loose.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to kill one the first week of archery here. This is
there you go.
Yeah, a tuned-up buck for Missouri.
Yeah, this year I got the doe done early, filled the freezer so I could take a little bit of the pressure off myself, which thankfully I did because the rest of the season looking for the big old bucks to come through just didn't work out this year. But we went out to Missouri this year. My buddy goes out with me every year, Brock Hebel. He was 9 years in a row. He didn't kill a buck out there. 9 years.
Wow.
That's a lot of time.
9 years. And I said, listen, I just want you to shoot one. If you shoot one, my season's complete. And he got one the first day we were out there. It was fantastic. Awesome. I'm like, Hebel, I'm done. I don't care what happens from this point in. You got one, I'm cool. I don't care what happens.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I love to watch other people hunt. I love, I go with a good group of guys, Dave and our guys, and it's fun to watch them hunting as well. And I'm not the big trophy buck hunter. I like to watch other people experience it. Yeah,
that's a good one.
I can't.
Yeah, I think they've all been nighttime pictures though.
This is it. This is the only photo of him. This is it. He came in the dark, 6:22 p.m. This is almost a month after we've left for our hunting season. Like we're done.
Hold that up again. Hold that.
It's hard because I can't.
What's he about 16, 17 inches? It looks like 16, 17 inches. Is what he is? Is that what he is? About 16, 17 inches wide?
Probably total, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He so anyway, but if you go through these pictures, there's a cat, there's a squirrel. There's a lot of photos.
You mean house cat or bobcat?
Yes, house cat, squirrels, possums, a whole family of them just went by the camera. So this is what I'm saying. It makes it so hard for us to go back. Like I want to go back and hunt there, but I'm like, why am I going to go back there? You know what I mean? Like it's stupid. Like that's the best buck on there. Yeah,
it'd be different if we were patterning them during the daytime and maybe seeing other ones come in as well. It gets you excited because you see it and you know something's there, but when it's at night and only get one picture of it, it's like, all right, do I really want to even try this one?
Yeah, well, those cameras, they're a blessing and they're also a curse.
They are.
That's true. That is true. It could be behind it. You're right. You're absolutely correct on that.
Because if you didn't have that camera, you'd still be filled with hope.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I remember it wasn't that long ago that we were pulling SD cards from trail cams, fighting to see the pictures, looking over everybody's shoulders. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
Damn you,
it was always kind of like opening up a Christmas
Damn you.
So, yeah.
Damn you.
I did this year. This year at our farm, I didn't even hang a trail camera. I usually have, 3.
Probably a good idea, honestly, Tim.
Yeah, no doubt.
We should just give a attach cam to somebody else.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I don't think they like that, but hey, you know what? We'll put it on other people's properties.
A couple of years I took them serious, and they can drive you absolutely out of your mind.
Yeah, you get obsessed for sure.
And
we have a lot of them too. We got like 15 cameras working, and we have some that aren't even set up yet. And we kept throwing them out there because we're like, yeah, why not, right? But we, the thing is that we're not putting them on big food plots, so it's not like we got like a food source where you're seeing deer every night. It's really runs and scrapes and rubs and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
You're just taking natural pattern pictures. You're not. You don't have
trees,
anything coming in.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's why I quit doing it. I drove myself crazy a couple years ago, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that. They're here. Hopefully I'll back into a good one.
Yeah.
You got it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot, Jake, for joining us.
Yep.
Appreciate it. And everybody who
Thanks,
joined
guys.
on the podcast to chat along, ask questions. Make sure you check out the Christmas special come up. I put the link in the description, and let's have some fun. So, Jake, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if I don't see you, man.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks. I appreciate it.